Hey, Nikki.
Hey, Salina.
Almost messed it up. Still kind of did.
What were you going to do?
I don't know.
Hey, booger.
Oh, that would be so cute. Anyways, hey, y'all. Welcome to this week's edition of Extra Sugar. Our main episode this week focused on Sophia, the Golden Girls one-liner queen, arguably the queen of all one-liners. So today, we are going to chat about the tiny lady behind the tiny lady, Ms. Estelle Getty. Woo!
I was trying to follow all the tiny ladies. And in my mind, they're like coming out of the purse.
All the tiny ladies?
I don't know what's happening. There were so many tiny ladies in that story.
There's a tiny lady right here. Kind of.
The tiny lady telling the story of the tiny lady behind the tiny lady.
Ooh,
to the giant lady.
A nesting doll.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
That happened in my brain.
I like that, I think. Okay, so here's my plan is we're going to do a little quick bio sketch, some career nuggets, and then I've assembled a handful of trivia items to share.
Ooh, oh.
Maybe I'll throw in a surprise or two.
Ooh,
who knows?
Oh.
It's what you were begging for at the end of
I thought we were
going to
do a quiz.
Is that what you want?
Yeah.
Well, I might have a question or two in here for you along the way. So this is where I half-heartedly ask, sound good? And this is where you say,
sounds great.
I really didn't know where I was going to get there. Yes, not save me.
Get me out of here.
Help me. All right, so Estelle Getty was born Estelle Shear on July 25th, 1923, which, as we've discussed, made her a year younger than B. Arthur, who played her daughter on Golden Girls. But come on, could you picture it any other way? Can't do an R next to all that. Something fell apart. Something fell apart. It's okay. I swear I do know how to make R's. She was born and grew up in New York City, the daughter of Jewish immigrant parents from Poland. Estelle married Arthur Gettelman in 1947, and they would remain married until he died in 2004. They had two sons together, Carl and Barry Gettelman. Estelle died on July 22nd, 2008 at her LA home from Lewy body dementia, her headstone inscribed with the words "with love and laughter" and the Star of David to represent her Jewish faith. In an interview about 4 years prior, her Golden Girls co-stars noted that she was no longer able to hold conversations and didn't recognize them any longer. Apparently, she was showing signs during the run of the show when she began struggling to remember lines, and in later seasons required cue cards. So I'm like, not trying to make it all sad, but this is part of her life, and it's something that she faced, and you can see that it must have been affecting her as early as 2000, because in her intimate portrait, which I'll also link to, it was really good. It was a really good one. She already had a doctor that was coming on there and talking for her.
Oh, gosh.
But it was interspersed with an interview with her, but it wasn't clear to me that that interview was then and not before then. I'm honestly not sure. But anyway, so just, we don't have to live in that.
In the sadness?
Part. Yeah, but that is something that is a part of her life. So you mentioned the trajectory of her career a little bit in our main episode.
But I didn't give it away?
She didn't give it away, y'all. She didn't. Of course, she is best known for her time. I really think I could be Sophia. It's fine. She is best known for her time as Sophia on Golden Girls. In fact, she was so beloved in that role that she would reprise it on. Here's your first question, Nikki. Do you know how many shows outside of Golden Girls that she reprised the role of Sophia? Bonus if you can tell me the name of each one of those shows, and that bonus will include me buying you an overpriced Atlanta coffee and a sweet treat of your choice.
The last one I'm not going to remember. It was Golden Palace, Empty Nest. I think there are two more, actually. Oh, Nurses?
She's reaching for it. She's reaching for it. Will she find it? Will the 40-year-old gazelle find it?
Gazelle. No. Let's end the pain now.
That's pretty good, though. So it was one more show. I'm going to give you 10 more. Not 10. 10
No, just go.
You sure?
Yeah.
Blossom.
That's right. That's right. That one felt random to me.
I would still buy you a treat.
Well,
So I'm a pushover.
everybody heard that. She's buying me a treat.
I will totally.
Oh, wait. Didn't you say a coffee and a treat?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
you
said
lost.
both. You said both.
You
I heard
lost.
you say both. I wouldn't
Not
say
for-
I wouldn't
not
say
for
I
losing.
lost. I wouldn't say I lost. I would say I got 75% of the way there, which is more than 50%.
That's true. You got something in your nose?
Just scratching my nose.
Okay. All right. The role of Sophia would score her. Yes, I'll get you both.
Thank you.
The role of Sophia was, but you got to stay around long enough to get it. You know?
That's the trick,
It
isn't it?
is a trick. So that's where I got ya. So Sophia, that role would score her both a Golden Globe in 1986 and a Primetime Emmy in 1988, respectively, for Best Actress and Best Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series. We talked about that more in the main episode. I don't want to say at length because it wasn't like we did like a class on it.
We said that same thing a few minutes ago.
Well, I hear, but you've been waiting 3 days to hear it twice. Her most notable role in film is probably as the grandmother of Roy L. Dennis in Mask, also starring Cher, Eric Stoltz, and Sam Elliott. This is the semi-autobiographical... That word really trips me up. The semi-autobiographical movie about a teenager played by Stoltz who had a massive facial skull deformity and mother played by Cher who was in a biker gang. This was also a reference that we discussed back in our Designing Women days when we were covering all things of the 1980s. Estelle also starred in 2 movies that are very meaningful for me. One is Mannequin with Kim Cattrall, Andrew McCarthy, and Meshach Taylor. I did not actually know that was her in the role of the department store owner because of all the makeup. And I don't actually watch Mannequin every day.
It's been so long since I've seen it.
Well, by the way, this is a movie that I am going to nominate for a special episode because
sure you will.
Now it has Meshach Taylor and Estelle Getty in
We
it.
still haven't watched Doc Hollywood because my suggestion keeps getting shoved under the rug.
Not by me. No.
Mannequin it is. Salina picked it.
Well, we've moved on from the South, Nikki.
But you never move on from Michael J. Fox. You never
No.
move on.
1,000% you don't. I totally agree with that. So I think I may have mentioned this in our season opener, but the other movie that really is like pivotal for me is Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. This is a Sylvester Stallone vehicle that you've likely never heard of. But when I was 6 and I wanted to pay for my dad to go see a movie, I paid for this movie. I saved,
That's
I scrounged,
so lovely.
and then I made him go see a terrible movie.
I saved, I scrounged, I raided my mom's wallet, and then I dragged Dad
I
to a
stole.
terrible movie.
I sold drugs.
I robbed
was
the candy
6,
store.
But you know, he only loved me, not that movie. And I don't want to. I liked it, but I was 6, so I imagine that movie might be tough for a 40-year-old.
I'm probably going to love it.
Yeah, I'm also nominating this movie. I'm not. But this, I do want to say those things are in her late career. The trajectory that Nikki was hinting at is fascinating because she didn't get her breakthrough role until 1982 when she was almost 60 years old. Before that, she spent decades as a regular working stage actor, all simultaneously while caring for her husband, raising 2 children, and working as an administrative assistant. So she has said that like she always wanted to contribute. And really in every way that she could. Sounds like she did. That breakthrough role would be in the Broadway production Torch Song Trilogy, which would first bring her a lot of attention, and then eventually it would also bring her Golden Girls. From her book, she never thought she was going to make it big, but she did. Sometimes narratives in the world like to tell you that amazing things aren't possible, but they are, and I love that. And I love that her career was fueled by persistence and passion. I should also say that my big surprise is that I found the Estelle Getty's book.
I bet you
it
did.
was not easy. This copy is a little dirty. And that's my big surprise for later on.
Did you read it?
I did. I hauled buns. I got it here just this week.
Okay.
It was really tough.
Was it good?
I will save that.
Okay.
One surprise at a time, Nikki Mays. One surprise at a time. But anyways, I know in the past we've talked about this. I just love this idea that like passion and dreams, they're not just for 20-year-olds or 30-year-olds or 40-year-olds. You know, you can live out a dream at any age. And so I really love that. And I also think that it might be part and parcel to why she winds up staying as grounded as she does. So here are 10 perfectly arranged facts about Estelle Getty. And my, who doesn't like to have a fact read at them?
Perfectly arranged as well.
What I was thinking of is if you want to, you can make fun of me along the way.
My favorite thing to
you
do.
can be the Sophia to my Dorothy.
Okay.
Okay. So really,
You look terrible in backless clothes. Look at your face, you ugly beast. Am I doing good?
Yes.
That's all I can come up with right now. You go ahead. Come up with more.
Okay.
I can't bring myself to do the physical. It's just mean. It's just mean. Sophia is just a mean gal.
Oh, you look terrible.
Better drink some more of that water. Your skin's drying out like an old bag.
Thank you. Number 1. Do you know how tall she was?
Tiny. She was less than 5 foot, right?
She was 4'11".
Yeah, she is really 4'9". She claims 4'11", so everybody would think
She
she was
might have been.
statuesque.
When she was a little older.
She could keep her driver's license.
If you're under 4'9", you have to be in a car seat.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
She told people she was 4'11", so she could keep her driver's license.
I mean,
It's not a car seat; it's a booster seat, right?
that's right. So 4'11" is how tall my grandma was.
Oh,
If you made it past her, you were tall.
I think that's about as tall as my grandma was too.
They were little. For all those chicken antibiotics, just boosted me right up to 5'2". 5'1 3/4", but who's counting?
See, this is what I'm saying. You all are liars. All the short people lie about your height. You edge up on the height. You edge down on the age.
Well, my weight too.
Well,
Fight me.
weight is nobody's business.
Or white.
Wait,
Not Betty White.
white teeth.
Not white rice.
I don't know.
None of the white foods, really.
You didn't even give me sweet treats this afternoon.
Number 2 will be done in 4.5 hours. Number 2 is that she did stand-up comedy at a resort in the Catskills for 2 summers in her late teens.
She also danced in Dirty Dancing.
I wish. Wouldn't that be something? She bombed. That's what she said. But she's pretty self-deprecating, so I wonder if she was just really good and said she bombed. I don't know. This is number 3. When her management team told her she should try to make it in Hollywood, she replied, "I'll give it 2 months." She landed the part of Sophia 6 weeks later. During that same time,
That's almost 2 months.
she was, but it wasn't. It's 2 weeks shy of 2 months. 2 weeks less.
I thought you were saying like 10 days or a week, and then you're like 6 weeks. It's like so almost.
She landed one of the most iconic television roles ever in 6 weeks out of 2 months. That doesn't impress you?
Nah.
All right, Shania Twain.
Nah.
During that same time, she was still starring on Broadway, shot an NBC pilot, and appeared in 2 movies. It took her...
So she didn't like to work then.
She didn't like to work. She's very lazy is what I'm saying. Number 4, it took her several auditions to land the role of Sophia because they didn't think she looked old enough to play someone who was 80. I think this one's pretty well known, but for the final audition, she wore dowdy clothes, whitened her hair, and makeup that aged her a few decades, and that's what sealed the deal.
Do you have the quote that she shared about talking to her makeup artist?
I read different versions and not one from her, so I wasn't comfortable with which one might actually be from her.
So more or less she told him basically like, this could change my life. So do my makeup as if it could change my life.
Yes. But that actually, okay, so she does say something like that. And I think that's actually at the pilot. So
okay.
because they hired someone to come in and do her makeup.
Okay.
And I think for that reasons, that's why there's like 12 versions of this story that are out there. And I was having so much trouble untangling them. This was initially called 10 Facts I Can't Verify.
10 maybe accurate facts.
That's good, right? That's good. Okay. Number 5, the purse that Sophia carries around everywhere. That was Estelle's idea. There's also a really sad quote to go along with that. I'm not going to read it. The purse is funny in the show. Number 6.
Hold on. she carry her medication in it? Like some diapers? What?
Yeah, it essentially boils down to like when people get old, they get moved and shuffled around a lot, and their lives get tinier and tinier and tinier. And so her thought process was like, at some point, older people are just like, here's all the things that I'm going to keep with me all the time because all of these changes have happened like towards the end of my life. And that's why she was like, I don't think she'll ever put it down.
What's going to happen to me? I carry my purse around all the time now. And it's full of like, I have 2 first aid kits in my purse. I have 7 tubes of lip gloss.
2 kids, 2 first aid kits.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that. I don't know, Nikki.
Maybe my purse just gets smaller.
Well, maybe. In wicker, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, this isn't about me.
I was trying to save you from that, but here we are. Number 6, Estelle had pretty bad stage fright. She reportedly froze a lot on camera and was intimidated working with the other famous cast members. She, quote, felt like a fraud and worried the fans would find out that she wasn't as good as her co-stars. And yet she is America's favorite Golden Girl. I think it says so here. Yeah,
according to her own book.
America's favorite Golden Girl. I don't think that she added that, if I had to guess, based on every other thing in this book. I mean, me and Estelle are like this. Okay. Number 7, she had a phobia about death and became very uncomfortable on the show when there were jokes about it, which has made me watch some of these episodes through a different lens.
Oh, that's so sad.
A lot about death. Yeah, on a few different levels. Number 8, she released an exercise video for senior citizens in 1993. So here's the thing. My second surprise was going to be, I was going to have tried to do that before we met, and it didn't work out.
Oh, because you couldn't find it?
No, I haven't.
Oh.
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Oh, because you hurt your foot.
I almost want to suggest. Actually, I thought that a senior citizens workout would be perfect for a hurt foot.
Between that and some of Dixie Carter's yoga videos,
Would also be okay.
you could fill in a whole library.
I could.
Foot-friendly activities.
Not going to call it that. I was actually going to see if I could rope you into doing it on camera for social media. Okay.
No can do.
All right, everybody, you got to really prod Nikki along with the emails. She wants you to email her about how much you want to see her do a senior citizens video.
I'm pretty sure such an email will never be written.
I'm pretty sure it will.
I don't think so.
I have
By you.
It's going to be, you're just about to get blown up.
Hey, Nikki, it's Salina, your co-host. I was thinking how fun it would be if you did a senior citizen exercise video.
I would love it if you just did what I wanted you to.
Hey, Nikki, it's been 5 days since my last email. Still haven't heard back from you.
No. It's been 4.5 minutes.
That's true. Couldn't help but notice I emailed you earlier today and you didn't respond.
Couldn't help but notice I just hit send, but I haven't heard anything. Oh, Lord. All right, number 9, Estelle was a big-time HIV activist. From what I read, she lost people close to her, including a nephew that she took care of post-diagnosis, as well as a Broadway co-star whom she was really close with. I mentioned the intimate portrait. We'll link to that, but it goes into a lot of detail about her work and the beautiful ways she used her fame and platform to benefit others. It was a really lovely tribute. And then number 10... I decided to rip the Band-Aid off earlier when I realized I'd said something about her book in my intro and then forgot that I said it. That's fine. She wrote an autobiography in 1988 titled, If I Knew Then What I Know Now, So What? So, did you know that she had written a book? Mm-hmm. Okay. Have you read this book? Mm-mm. Are you Estelle Getty?
I am. Okay. I was going to say, when you mentioned that she used her platform for good, the Golden Girls are an excellent example of making the right people famous. And I wonder if it had something to do with their maturity and just how much life they have led. Because Bea Arthur was a big animal activist. She was also, I hate using the word activist, a big animal rights supporter. And Betty White was too. And Estelle Getty.
So was Rue McClanahan.
Rue McClanahan was. Estelle felt very strongly about certain cultural and social issues, and they all really tried to make a difference. I think they were all in a PETA. We've talked about this. They were all in a PETA commercial together or something. Sounds right. So they all tried to use their fame for something.
Yep. It is really nice.
That was fact number 11.
Fact number 11. Thank you, Nikki.
You're welcome.
So I thought that what we would do with the book is and this is really what made me fall in love with her too, was like reading this book. And to rip off the Band-Aid, I did like it a lot. At first I was having this thought, because now we've read like 3 different
Memoirs.
Stars, yes, and Stars books, and it felt like in some of these like stream of consciousness, which is it's a type of style. It's just so interesting to me that sometimes there doesn't seem to be like as much of a trajectory as you would think,
like a cohesive sort of story around a narrative.
Yeah, like
I will say,
hold.
Betty White's book was very oriented around this is where television started, this is where we are today, and this is how I fit in at each of those places. So it did feel like it had that overarching sort of those guideposts versus just like someone told me I could write a book if I just wrote down all of my fun stories through the years. So I did that. Which is how some of them have been, which I don't hate.
I mean, hey, somebody wants to pay you to like do that and just tell a couple of cutesy stories, like seems fine.
Rue McClanahan based hers around husbands. It was a thing.
I have it. I'm reading it. Okay, so I thought I would start by reading this intro, and the reason why I'm just gonna read.
So I thought I'd start with chapter 1.
I'm just gonna. It's a page. I think it really kind of succinctly tells you who she is and how she came to this project. And I don't know, it just, you'll get it. So it's called Just So You Know What You're Getting Into. Me writing a book. Maybe next I'll model French bikinis. Who knows? I'm as surprised as anyone else. I still don't know how all this book stuff happened, but I'll tell you this. Be very cautious when you tell people, my life, I could write a book. Someone may take you up on it. I should know. This very nice publisher asked me to write a book, and I said there was one not so minor problem. Who gives a damn what I have to say? I also felt a trace of guilt. I know all these wonderful playwrights and aspiring writers who would kill to be published, and suddenly here I am, and here I come out of deep left field with this book thing. It takes me 50-some years to make it as an actress, and suddenly I'm an author in 20 minutes? But then I figured, why not? My family and friends have heard my shtick for years, and they're still listening. So why not stretch myself? Why not take the risk? So here I am, writing a book, and I guess I'm a little embarrassed, and a little scared, and a little shocked, and more than a little delighted, and also a lot of, what the hell am I doing? So here goes, read and enjoy. And I don't know, like she seems very self-aware, and that is the person that I found throughout this book. Maybe even sometimes like an underread of herself, if anything. I do recommend it for people who are fans of the show or of Estelle Getty or both. And for that reason, my goal is to share enough to entice you, but not enough to make it not worth the read. And I think by and large, I would just say this made her incredibly relatable. I found her down to earth and authentic. Even after she was famous, her favorite restaurant was Sizzler.
Well, I mean,
do they even? They don't exist.
They don't
anymore.
exist. I think we looked into that.
They had good French onion. Much to the chagrin of her handlers, she drove an orange Toyota Tercel, while all the other Golden Girls drove really expensive cars. And she didn't even put it like that. There's not like an ounce of judgment. I just figured you didn't want me to go through all the list of cars that everybody else drove.
I feel something you're saying is resonating with me, and I want to mention it real quick before I forget, because you've mentioned a few times how grounded she is and or was and stayed throughout her career. And one of the things that Betty White talks about in her book is that Estelle was the only one to hug her after she won her Emmy, and she did it outside the set, like did it in the parking lot or whatever, gave her a hug, said congratulations, and then they went inside, and it was super awkward on set that day because remember, Betty was the first Golden Girl to win an Emmy. And so it's like sort of Betty like was pointing to the fact that there was some ego at play there and there was some discomfort. And it's interesting that after everything you're saying that Estelle was the only one to hug her. Because it sounds like there's no ego there with her.
Yeah, that is interesting. I think the way that she talked about marriage was hilarious. I don't care if it's 1988, 1888, or today. We are all still fighting over what's for dinner. We always will be. So, but she also had this really great quote it's not funny. I think it really resonated with me. Nothing matters more in a marriage than friendship. Everything else, great sex, great looks, great sex, will eventually fade, but friendship endures. It is, I believe, the only relationship that endures and the most perfect ingredient for a marriage, or any relationship for that matter. If we treated our spouses, our sweethearts, our parents, our children as we treat our best friends with the same forgiveness and tolerance and forbearance, we would all be better for it.
That's nice.
I thought I was like, I should probably treat Casey better.
Well, it's interesting because I was reading I was looking for quotes from her about the character of Sophia. And I came across this one that they interviewed her husband, and she had moved to the West Coast to film The Golden Girls. He stayed in New York and worked for her father. And he said,
hold on, let me scratch that off my list.
Oh, sorry. He said, sometimes I miss her. Sometimes I don't. We make it work.
This is the picture that I get from him across all of the things that just is in tone. I think he is just a very matter of fact kind of guy.
Sometimes I miss her. Sometimes
he's
I
like,
don't.
I got to stay behind and put in glass.
Yep.
He's like, all right, see ya.
I got to go fulfill my dreams.
Yeah,
but you do the glass thing too. That's cool.
Right. That's great. But I just thought that this was really fantastic insight and advice, and it's from someone who was married for almost 60 years, so she
knew a
must
thing
know
or two.
There you go. She also talks about how much she loves food, how much she loves her friends, and especially the found family that comes along with stage life. I think those are just things that just in general, most people can find resonance with. Mm-hmm. Food. Also friends and family. But also found family. And I think that's such a nice connector back to Golden Girls, right? Because Golden Girls is also found family. I mean, maybe that's why, I don't know. I think all these people who are go after those dreams and they're these kinds of dreams, I think you do have to do found family because you are going out to LA or you are having to stay in a crash pad's not the right word, but if you're going to work on a play, you're doing that for months at a time and you're spending all that time with your co-stars. So, I mean, they really are family to each other. I think that's really beautiful.
Rue talks about that a lot in her book as well. Because she spent so much time on stage before Golden Girls.
Right now, I'm just at her 12 to 14-year-old boyfriend. Well, I'll get there.
Oh, you'll get there.
Yeah. So Estelle was self-deprecating, like so many women that I know, and really honest about her fears, like the stage fright, anxiety, eternal pessimism. She talks a little bit about having hypochondria. A lot of this is framed as funny, but I do think one thing I will say that I was not anticipating is she calls herself fat a lot in the book.
Wow.
Which, number one, I don't think any woman should or person should do that to themselves, but also, really?
Yeah. She's so tiny.
But she said that people would always be like, you're so small. And she's like, I'm really not. I thought she was 2 seconds away from writing, let me take my dress off. I'll show you. Which does sound rather Sophia, I'm just saying. But I think that's so interesting. And I do think it's interesting because women's weight has come up. And I'm curious if Rue McClanahan talked about weight or anything, because we saw it in Deltas. We saw it in Dixie Carter's, saw it in this one, which I did not expect. And I don't know if Rue did or not.
I feel like it
body image, I guess.
Not to an extent that feels sad. Yeah. It might have been and I went on a trip and when I came back, my clothes were a little tighter. Right. Like that.
Well, and hers is done funnily, with humor.
Yeah.
It's not hard to see through that humor, though.
It didn't. So I'll say this way. In Rue's book, I didn't read it as a negative. Well, and I actually was a little surprised.
She already told you she has perfect thighs.
It's true. I was a little surprised because I thought maybe it would have come up.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to me, the other thing that's, you mentioned a couple other character traits of hers, eternal pessimism, fear, these things. She was Polish and born in 1923. And I imagine that there were a lot of heavy issues that she was forced to face at a very young age.
We talk about generational trauma.
Yeah.
Don't think she's the only. I don't think people just born in the 20s who are part of the tribe. That trauma goes back. It's literally biblical. So yeah.
And how sad that weight is among that list of, not that you need to compare issues or one means more than the other, but body image and weight that's an interesting one.
Right. And can we just take that off the table with everything else that there is? I know it's not that easy, but
I know.
If we could.
It'd be nice.
There were
One less thing.
Right. There were some parts where she writes humorously about her memory. And dang, that was really hard to read through at this point. Yeah. You know.
This was 88.
Right.
Okay.
I think she said that the 4th season was about to start. I think what stuck with me the most tonally from the entire book, if I was going to like take it as a whole, is the gratitude that she expressed for this crazy, unexpected ride in the 3rd act of her life. And I just thought that was so refreshing. It was like that performer that gets up on stage and like thanks everyone for being there. And they're like, I was just a young boy in Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yep, I know.
But it's like beautiful. And you're like, oh my God, you're just so happy to be here.
It's just the love of the game.
And I just feel that in that book. And I don't know. I thought it was really special. So there were some Southern things in there, some anecdotes that caught my attention. The first was about Southern mothers. Here's what she had to say. I'm a mother. I'm Jewish. Therefore, I'm a Jewish mother. But you don't have to be Jewish to be a Jewish mother. There's another type of mother who can out-Jewish mother the Jewish mother. Southern mothers. Southern mothers are subtle.
Southern mothers.
They smile sweetly while they nag, and they nag you in that soft, melodious Southern accent. It's quiet, it's lovely, and they will softly and sweetly nag you to death. They'll nag you until you have migraines, until you're kneeling on the floor with busted kneecaps pleading, stop, I'll do it. I'll be a doctor and an attorney.
Oh, Southern mothers.
It's a tale as old as time. This is, I'm getting all my words incorrect. The other one was about a time that she came to Atlanta. She did a benefit here, and the hotel's manager had sent flowers and fruit and a note to her room that said, welcome to the Ritz-Carlton, Buckhead, to which she had this reaction. I wasn't sure how to take that. Buckhead? I assumed it was a term of endearment here in Georgia. At the same time, I'd never even met the man who wrote me the note, and I thought his calling me Buckhead was a little personal. Flash forward, out of great curiosity, she asks someone about this pet name and learns that she is, in fact, in the area of Buckhead. And the story spread like wildfire, and everyone at the hotel was calling everyone else Buckhead.
It's funny.
And then, of course, we can't leave this without having some Golden Girls anecdotes and some of Estelle's. Coming off of our run with Designing Women, of course, we've already talked about the other books that we've read. We didn't get a lot of Designing Women in those books. Not really. So I was surprised and delighted to find that there was a fair amount of Golden Girls included here. And I thought that Estelle was very forthcoming in hers. And it's just good. She was really proud to be on the show, and she knew how important it was to have this representation of 4 older women who put themselves out there and didn't stop living life simply because of their age. She talks about women living communally with one another, and not just living together, but really going out in the world and spending time together. I'm going to read an excerpt because it delights Nikki and she can laugh at me.
Chapter 7.
I really wish that this book was read in Sophia's voice.
Oh,
I thought that would be really lovely.
That would be cool.
What a nice leave behind we have now with authors who write these.
Well, the Betty White audiobook that I listened to was Betty White.
It was? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's nice.
It adds a different layer.
Yeah, it really does. Versus it being in my voice.
Well, if you could try your best, Sophia.
I am not very good at Sophia. I think I might be okay at Betty White.
Picked it.
No accents, huh? So this is from the book. I've always felt that loneliness, not age, is the real killer. I get a lot of letters from women who tell me how difficult life is. They're widowed and alone and scared and sick, and the show cheers them up. And how they'd love to be like Sophia and live with other women, but they don't. They've lost their husbands, and now they feel bereft of all peace and security. Letters like that always move me because it doesn't have to be that way. It all goes back to Noah's Ark syndrome, which prevails in our society. The notion that people have to go through life 2 by 2, that you're less than whole. This goes for men and women and gays of both sexes. Damn it, it isn't so. Divorce, widowhood, breakups, They make all of us hurt, but life doesn't end, and life can be perfectly viable for a single person. It takes courage to reach out and form new relationships, but that courage has great rewards. And I thought that was just, I don't know. I think it's really lovely to celebrate different walks of life and like the fact that we are sort of sold this perfect life and what that looks like. But it's not going to be that way for every single person. That's just not even statistically possible. So find what works for you and find a way to make life shine. And I just like that she was able to do that. And I know that's not possible for everyone, but just knowing just because you're not part of a pair, it doesn't make you any less valuable. And I thought that was sweet.
Would I be going too far off script if I pitched you a business idea right now?
Is it something with Noah's Ark?
Nope.
Okay.
It's a dating app of sorts,
Okay.
but not the dating.
Okay.
We match elderly women with other elderly women in a Golden Girls type scenario,
Oh, I do like it.
like a roommate finder.
Yes, I think that we would have to do an environmental scan because the world has gotten quite niche and we need to make sure it doesn't exist.
Oh, fair point.
But
So
I
can
do
you do
like
that
it.
this next week?
You also just gave away our business idea.
I can edit. You heard nothing. Carry on, Salina.
But I do like it.
It's a good idea, right?
We also have to teach old people how to use technology. Do you like that?
So, yeah, that's a good point.
We'll just we'll hang up flyers in the local grocery store.
Well, we target the younger generation.
to do it for their parents and grandparents.
Or neighbor who gets on their nerves.
Right, or that they love.
Sure. That too.
Absolutely.
All
is what
walks
I
of
meant.
life, Salina, is what I'm saying. We're inclusive. What women, though? It's women.
Right.
I want to make it focused on women.
Focus on women.
Because when you add men, co-ed situations, things get weird.
Because of men.
I didn't say that.
No, I would never.
Things get weird.
You need everybody.
Apparently. Noah's Ark and whatnot.
It's arc and whatnot. So in the book, she had really nothing but the kindest words for B. Arthur, Betty White, and Rue McClanahan. She had good stories about all of them, but one really good one was when they couldn't find Rue anywhere on set, and it's because she was napping behind
Just
the
sleeping.
couch. Yeah, up behind the couch. Yeah, that was so funny. She would just take like random cat naps everywhere.
People need their beauty sleep.
And
I sleep in my
funny.
car sometimes. The sun, it makes me sleepy.
I wish I could nap. Apparently their prop guys were always pulling pranks on the cast. I'm going to spare a bad retelling, but essentially just imagine they're trying to throw the actors off their game mid-taping. So with surprise notes and things flying out of the fridge and new pictures and calendars or whatever that they may have not been anticipating as they're trying to act.
I can't remember if it was Betty White's book or Rue McClanahan's, but that was for the first few seasons, like 1, 2, or 3 maybe. Then it fell off afterwards and they got a different crew. And whoever it was that was writing about it definitely wrote about how much they missed that group of people.
Oh, because I was like, I really want to work with these people. They sound like a really good time. So if this was before the 4th season or when the 4th season, that would come together really nicely with that. I mean, minus the fact that they've lost all the fun people on set.
Sorry about that, guys.
Yep, sorry. She also talks about becoming Sophia. I thought this was really interesting. So people would walk up to her in the street and they'd always be like, say something like Sophia. But she really couldn't. She has to have the wig and the makeup on. And she even
That's
said,
the character.
Yeah, she said like as she would sit there, that last 30 minutes of them doing the makeup, they'd get quiet. And, you know, when she got there, she was fast talking, fast moving Estelle. You know, she was
Then she turned into fast talking, fast moving Sophia.
Well, Sophia didn't move fast.
I think she did. Move fast for me.
But she said like by the time I crawl out of that chair, she's 4'11". She didn't say crawl. She was like, I was Sophia.
My hip locks up when I get stuck in a chair for too long, so I also move a little slow. So maybe if you think she moves slow, that was why.
Maybe. Yeah, could be. Well, she said she moved slow as Sophia too. And this is probably my favorite fan anecdote just because it's so bizarre. Okay?
Anecdote?
A fanecdote, yes. She wrote, one man always writes me from prison.
Perfect.
He signs off each letter the same way, though he's considerably younger than I. He'd love to meet me. First, though, he wants to see me in a bathing suit. Could I please send a photo?
So I did.
We're in love. Thanks for asking. Arthur doesn't mind.
Sorry, Artie.
He's on the East Coast.
Missing me sometimes.
But I said in our main episode that Sophia is my favorite Golden Girl. Or if I didn't, I sure meant to.
You said it.
Okay, good.
You said it.
Okay, that's right, because you threw
Shots
something
fired
at me. But I feel comfortable saying that at this point in the season, knowing those orthopedic shoes were filled by the dynamic, progressive, and beautiful spirit of Estelle Getty, frankly, only makes me love her more. I thought it might be appropriate to end today's segment with a quote from one of her sons. She was loved throughout the world in 6 continents. And if they loved sitcoms in Antarctica, she would have been loved on 7 continents. She was one of the most talented comedic actresses who ever lived. And I'm inclined to agree. You know the drill. DM us, email us, or contact us from the website and find us all over the socials. And that's this week's Extra Sugar.